Hi everyone, welcome to lesson 1.2. This lesson is about connecting to your whole self and nature. Here's what we'll cover. How you are whole and complete exactly the way you are. How you disconnect from your wholeness at times. How life calls you to connect back to your wholeness. And the joy of mindfully connecting with nature. So when you're born whole and complete. Just because you exist, no baby is born ever thinking, am I good enough? Am I worthy of being loved? Do I need to feel unsafe? No baby is born like that. Every baby is born whole and complete. And the good news is, you are still whole and complete exactly the way you are. Just because you exist. So we're born as these whole, beautiful, complete human beings, but because of the different experiences that we have with life, either through the family we are brought up in, or society, or the education system, or various experiences that we've had, we can sometimes feel disconnected from ourselves. And this disconnect causes a huge amount of pain and suffering. And when we're younger, we don't really know how to cope with this. We just don't have the cognition to understand it. And so we create these shells around us. And these shells can come in various forms. They can be through overeating, undereating, gambling, shopping excessively, alcoholism, guilt, feeling sad, and so on and so forth. So if you think about your mind being 5% operating from the conscious mind and 95% operating from the unconscious mind, remembering that this unconscious mind gets vastly formed from the ages of 0 to 7 years, then depending on the patterns of programming that you have in this unconscious mind, be they be of lack or fear, then if this is the unconscious tape that is playing in the background, no matter what experience you have, you may experience a disconnect or a discontentment because of the programs of lack that may be playing in the background. However, if vastly you have programs of wholeness and completeness and complete acceptance of you as you are, then that positively impacts your experience of life. So if you look at the iceberg of emotions, and if you look at anxiety and depression, or say anger or annoyance or irritation or any other emotion at the tip of that iceberg, and the middle section being all the causes that you attribute to these feelings, such as financial issues, conflicts, loneliness, illness, etc. If you only address that middle section, you won't ever be able to get rid of those feelings of anxiety or depression. And in essence, it's not actually about getting rid of these feelings of anxiety and depression, because what they are doing is they are giving you a bit of a signpost for what's happening deep inside in that deep bottom layer, which is based on fear or lack. They are communicating to you about some program of fear or lack that you have that is not working for you, that is stopping you from being in your flow. And this is how life calls you back to connect to your sense of wholeness through these feelings that make you feel like you're out of flow with yourself and out of connection with yourself. So when you are feeling any lack or low mood or anxious or feeling any numbness or emptiness in life, if you can identify what that underlying pain point is, what is that fear? What is that lack that you are experiencing? And if you can address that, then we can engage the thinking brain and the feeling brain in a way that is more empowering, more connected to your joy. And that's the good bit about it, is that once you've identified it, you can then transform it by accessing the state that you actually want to be in. So life's process is this process of going from a whole space to this feeling of lack, but still being whole, and then coming full circle and connecting back to your whole self. And this is where the fun begins. This is where connecting with nature is incredible, because nature is whole and complete. There is nothing that is incomplete about nature. In all her forms and all her glory, she shows us different forms in which she holds the perfection of being who she is, exactly the way she is. And every part of nature is different from every other part of nature. And when you mindfully use your senses, you connect with that wholeness inside of you as well. So how can you use your 5 senses in a way that makes you connect with nature? So when you use your sense of smell, you can take in the scent of a flower. And there is something so heavenly about the scent of various flowers, like the lavender or the rose. Feeling the wind caressing your hair is another incredible experience if you mindfully tune into it. The softness of the wind against your skin is truly joyful. And what about feeling the soft grass under your feet? There is a lush groundedness that occurs when you can have your feet contacting the ground and feeling the ground with all of your feet. Listening to the songs of the birds, using your sense of hearing, listening to the sound of rustling leaves or the water running in a brook. All of these are such beautiful sensual experiences to richly use your senses. And using your vision, not just walking mindlessly in nature, but taking in every sight, every little nuance of nature, every crevice on a tree trunk, the leaf swirling off a tree in perfect rhythm with itself down to the ground. These are all incredible moments, incredible magical moments that are here for us in everyday life that you can access no matter where you are. So I ask you, how would you like to mindfully connect with nature?